Before I get started, I'd like to explain my 7-card Know Thyself or Know Yourself spread that I'll be using for the readings. I gave it this moniker because it's easy to understand the meaning of the 3 top cards of the spread. The top left-hand card is what you know. The central card is what can be or is yours. And the card on the right is self or self-awareness. 3 mini Rider-Waite cards will be the clarification cards underneath the main cards. And the card on the right will be the future card. I'll be using the Conley Tarot deck for all of the readings. And on with the readings. Hi there, Libra. Welcome to the 2017 Valentine to the end of February Winds of Jupiter Tarot reading. Before I get started here, I wanted to point out in this spread that there's 5 Major Arcana cards out of 7. You have the High Priestess, Temperance, the Tower, Transition or Death, and the World. And also, just doing a cursory review of all of this, they're all connected this way. So let's go on with the reading here. Here in what you know, it's the High Priestess. She's bringing you a spiritual awakening, or maybe I should call it a spiritual renewal. You've forgotten something went out of balance, and she wants to bring your spiritual self back into balance. She brings messages, but she does it very subtly through coincidences, premonitions, dreams, just all of a sudden déjà vus that happen to you that give you a really strange feeling and make you stop and think, what was that? I really felt something was going on, more was going on than meets the eye. And here the clarification card is Temperance. You do have to slow down and have an eagle eye out for the illuminative messages that the High Priestess brings you, and you need moderation and temperance to do that. You can't be speeding along and not paying attention because you could just fly right by them. Here in what can be or is yours, the 5 of Cups. Something didn't work out well. You've been in denial, despair, disappointment, even desolate. And with it being cups, it can be emotional in love. But I have the feeling that you kind of went off the deep end and you dragged this along. Misery loves company, but the only company you really had was yourself. And here Temperance too is saying, the diagonal connection is saying that you really have to start moderating this and snapping out of it. You became, what do they call that, a drama king or queen. And the funny thing about it is you wanted to blame everybody around you, the outside people, and you looked at them differently, but you didn't realize that it was you that had changed. And actually, not changed wouldn't stop from feeling this desolate feeling. You had to snap out of it some way. And this is yours, not what can be. But here the clarification card is the Tower. You know, this can be about ruination and having to rebuild, and of course it probably is, but this can be a release from bondage and awakening. This can be related to what the High Priestess is saying too. The lightning can be a divine force that is bringing her message through to you and bringing some type of enlightenment. This is where we learn from our mistakes. This card signifies sudden change in circumstances. There was some kind of failure in relationships or beliefs or something just didn't work out. And here it's time to rebuild and make a more secure foundation. I wouldn't really call this a setback, but you have to stand back and start taking a real good look at what is going on. Here in yourself or self-awareness, you receive transition. In the Conley deck, it's transition, and Rider-Waite deck, it's death. You're transforming. You're changing. You know you have to change. You're aware that you have to change. And this is definitely connected to the Tower. All of a sudden, you had this lightning epiphany that you do have to change. And here in the clarification card is the World, one of the best cards. You earned, you learned, you're changing, and you're at the end of a cycle and ready to start a new one. Wonderful. You listen, or you took note of the High Priestess's messages and slowed down with temperance to be able to hear her messages. You released yourself from bondage, from what was bothering you with your emotions or love affairs, through lightning epiphanies that all of a sudden came very clear, forcing you to transform and now onto a new cycle. Future card is the Queen of Pentacles. You know, it's one of the two minor arcana cards, but she's about being a mentor of all practical matters. She's pragmatic, let's put it that way. The word pragmatic comes out to me, and she controls her life and her future security. She's a successful person on the worldly level, and she shares her riches and is loyal to her friends and family. She's a devotee to happiness, the emotional affairs of happiness. She also scrutinizes the difference between wealth and happiness, because wealth does not necessarily bring happiness. She wants you to come down to earth. You know, get a grip on reality. And this could personify you, or this could personify somebody that would be of Pentacles and Earth, would be Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. But the deal is that it goes full circle. You're going from a spiritual awakening that changes you to remind you to be down to earth and do things on an earthly level and be pragmatic in your future. If you do that, I think you have a lot going for you. And I wish you acceptance, peace, and happiness.